The cost function is what? Cost function is just this, just the fixed cost. Okay? Right? That's what they're telling us. I told you they threw in a lot of distractions here. Okay? But the cost function is that. And what's the revenue function? $100 per person. Right? It's really, it's all kind of confused because they're saying per hour of flight, but this is the hourly cost. So, okay. Anyway, it's confusing, but anyway, the revenue is 100x, where x is the number of people. Okay? So what's the profit function? It's the revenue minus the cost, right? What's the revenue? I just said it. 100x. And what's the cost? There's only fixed cost, so it's that. So the profit is what? 100x minus 5211. Right? Everyone see that? Okay. So if you want to find out the break-even, what would you do? Solve this for 0, right? Find out when the profit is 0. Right? That would tell you what? How many people you have to fly to break even. After that, you get more people than that, then you're making a profit. Right? If you get more than the break-even number, you're going to make a profit, right? Okay, does everyone get this? Okay. All right, and then the other thing is specify the domain. What does domain mean? The possible values of x. So, x stands for what? What? Number of passengers, right? So, what's the domain? This one. Right? X can be 0, you can have 0 passengers, but the most you can have is 405. Okay? Now what's the difference between this notation with the square brackets and this notation with the rounded brackets? Yeah. So this means that 0 is included and 405 is included in this domain. In other words, if we say this is the domain, it means x can be 0 and x can be 405. However, if we said this was the domain, we would say x has to be greater than 100 greater than 100, and it has to be less than 405. Okay, so the rounded brackets mean not including the endpoint of the interval. Okay? So, any questions about that? Okay, so I think that's basically what we need to know, more or less, for this assignment. Okay, so this is due, so you have to do it. Now let's see if we can get the book working, but I think to get the book working, here I have to install Flash. Let's see if we can install Flash. Unfortunately, every time I want to refer to the book, I have to install Flash, but let's see what happens. Flash. Where is it? Not working. Not good. Why isn't that working? Okay, so let's see. There's 10. Oh. I don't want these. Okay, actually, let's, all right, we'll do this and then we'll have a short quiz. I'm sure you do this. I have to restart the browser. Okay. Okay, let's restart the browser, I guess. Okay, let's go to WebAssign. Let's try to open up the book. Where'd the book go?
Oh.
It worked before. I tried it at home. I don't know why it doesn't work now. Oh well, I guess we can't do that, right? That's really not good.
Do you remember?
Why didn't that work? Let's try one more
I
time.
actually forgot the quiz. What's the name of it?
Download.
It's not Manaba, it's
Oh well. All right, we won't do the book. I wanted to show you
well, anyway.
that the book covers this stuff in good detail,
Yeah.
but I can't seem to load the book. So maybe some other time. All right. So
Just don't.
let's go on to the next assignment then. Okay, so let's go to this one called supply and demand. Oh, sorry, let's have a quiz. Okay, so we're going to use Socrative. So you have to download the app. Everybody have a smartphone? Everybody have a connection? I think there's internet in this, Wi-Fi in this room. Yeah.
Her phone is out of battery.
Oh.
If she can use a browser,
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay. Did you load it with Socrative yet?
Socrative, yes.
Okay. Okay, yes? What? Yes. What? Oh, yeah, you can do it on the browser, no problem. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to show you right now. Okay. This is the classroom number.
Is it always the same classroom?
What?
Is it always the same classroom?
Yeah, it's always the same. 527048 is the room number. Okay? Everybody ready? Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll give you a problem from the homework. And I will give you a problem from here. Like this one. But I need to go to here and okay, so when you give me your name, just give me your student ID, not your name. Okay. So, 1 second, and I'll show you the question again. So, this question here, what is C of X? So, can you read this? So the question is, what is C of X? Anybody need more time? Everybody okay? If you need more time, raise your hand. Okay? Okay, let me close that one. Okay, next one will be this one, part A. No, yeah, okay, go ahead. Anybody need more time? Okay, and one more. And that is this one. What's the cost of manufacturing the third piano that day? Which is called the marginal cost of the third piano. Okay, anybody need more time? Okay. All right, so I hope, anybody have any questions about those? Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the next homework that you have to do, which is called supply and demand. Okay, so the last homework was more like a business area, and this is more like economics. Okay, so slightly different, I guess. So let's do this one. So let's suppose that, suppose we're selling watches. Let's say Rolex watches. And let's also think about stock market. And let's also think about Bitcoin, a little bit more current. And what else? And also super expensive houses. Okay, just wanted to write this down to remind myself what I want to talk about. Okay, so Rolex watches. So they're kind of relatively expensive, right? So let's suppose that, and also, yeah. So these two are examples of what we're called a free market. Okay, but let's suppose you're talking about Rolex watches, and you have, so let's say, so we're going to draw a picture like this. We're going to put P for price down here, and here Q for quantity. Here. Okay, and usually I think in economics they reverse these axes. Usually they put the price up here and the quantity here, but in mathematics text they do it this way. This one is like easier to understand, but for some reason economists got in the habit probably of doing it the other way, so they do it the other way. So let's say that, well, I guess I'll just draw this curve. So I'm going to draw a curve like that. Oh, and we're going to have, we're going to be thinking about the buyers and the sellers. And buyers are called consumers, I guess. And sellers are called suppliers here. Okay? And, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to draw two graphs here. P and Q. And this one's going to look like that. So, which one of these would you call increasing? The first one or the second one? The first one, right? As you move to the right, the graph is increasing. Usually we say increasing when referring to moving to the right. What happens? So as you move to the right here, it's decreasing, right? Okay. So the question is, we're going to be thinking about the suppliers and the consumers. Okay? So which one represents the propensity or the thinking or the which one represents the propensity of the buyers or the consumers? So which of these two represents the propensity of the buyers? So what I mean by that is, in this one we said it's increasing, that is, as P increases, Q stands for the quantity that will be bought, in this case. Okay, so which one would you say is a better representation of the propensity of the buyers? So as the price goes up, the quantity that they buy goes up, or as the price goes up, the quantity that they're going to buy goes down?
The right one.
Which one?
The right one.
The one on the right. Right? Right? It means that as the price increases, less people are going to be interested in, there'll still be some people who want it, right? But, as the price goes up, maybe some people have to pay for their grandmother's hospital bills or something like that, and they're not going to buy the Rolex watch, right? So the higher the price goes, the fewer customers are available. So this represents the consumers. Okay, so this represents the consumers, so that's called the demand curve. Right? Okay, on the other hand, this doesn't really represent the seller, right? As the price increases, I wouldn't say that the number of sellers decreases. Okay? I would say that as the price increases, the people who are willing to sell are going to increase. The number of people that are willing to sell is going to increase, right? So this represents the suppliers, or the supply curve. Okay? So that represents the supply curve, and the other one represents the demand curve. Okay?